Good morning or afternoon, depending on the location you're in. As most can tell, I'm new to this whole posting on YouTube. But one of the things I gotta talk about real fast is how the new guy seems to have an issue with actual historic facts when it comes to America and just facts in general. You know, his comment that he made about Andrew Jackson, a man who was literally one of, if not one of the most abusive slave plantation owners in history, where they have documented proof of him working slaves and literally saying that the Negro human is capable of working longer, harder than most, where he has literally worked his slaves to the muscle has been ripped from the bone. And then for the new guy to sit back and literally say that he would have fought for the Civil War or that fought against it, you know, that it didn't need to happen. Let's be honest, if you can sit back and literally say or make so-called alternative facts to justify his words, then you have no issue with slavery. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you that black people can be enslaved and worked. You would rather see that happening today and justify it by any means you can think of than to just literally say the man's an idiot. You get what I'm saying? I mean, literally, the man is saying he has no issue with slavery. He didn't see anything wrong. He's like, why were people don't, why? The reason why is because of slavery. Understand, the reason that America is the superpower that it is today, and it is the continent that it is today, the nation that it is today, is because of slavery. Everything was done because of slavery. That is what made America great. Because America was built off of free labor. It was built off the backs of my ancestors, the ones that were strong enough to survive. That is what made this country the way it is today. But for some idiot to literally be the president of the United States and not know the simple fact of American history says a lot. And it really says more when people try to justify his words. When you sit back and you go on somewhere and you try to justify it, and then to literally say, well, the Democrats, okay, we get the history between the Democrats and the Republicans. We get that. We know it. We're not stupid. And for Republicans to sit back and go, we're the party of Lincoln, and act like we don't know the history of the Republican Party from then to now, and then at the same time know the Democratic Party from then to now. That's just playing on just thinking people are just stupid. Understand something, Republicans, you can sit back and say we are the party of Lincoln. Understand, Lincoln did not want to free the slaves. He didn't want to do any of it. The issue is that the North was losing money because the North was trying to move past, not really trying to move past it, but they couldn't get slaves up there because if they got there, they would go to Canada. They understood that the South was making more off of free labor of slaves than they were. That's it. That's all it was about, economics and slavery. It wasn't about, oh shit, we need to free the slaves because of these and this and this and this. No, it was because, oh shit, the South is making more money because of slaves. Understand why. That's why America, you can go everywhere in America and everything is named after some kind of Confederate general, anything. Military bases are named after Confederate generals, not Northern generals. I don't see a Fort Grant. You know, none of that. You got Fort Hood, named after a Confederate general. Fort Lewis, named after a Confederate general. You have all of these places that we constantly remind. It lets you know that, oh shit, we really wanted to keep slaves, so we're going to honor these men. But for an idiot to be president and not know about Andrew Jackson, not know about why the Civil War was fought, not to know anything about anything, is ridiculous. And he's the president, and it's so sad to literally see people have to constantly go on the news and be like, well, you're not taking it the way he was saying it. But he was the man that ran off of what I say is what I mean. People always, we like him because he says what he means. He's saying what's on everyone's mind. But then now, even during his candidacy, people were running. No, you got to understand, he meant it this way. No, fuckers. The reason that everybody so-called voted for him is because he's off the cup. He says what he means. So to constantly see people try to literally go, no, he meant this. No, he meant it this way. No, he meant it that way. It's disgusting. That's showing that most people don't care. Understand, America was built off of racism. It's still the same way today. That's why you got an attorney general the way you have it now. You can get mad and you can say whatever you want, but I'm serious. These are like people that want it back to the way it used to be. This is why he ran the way he did. Oh, back in the day, they would drag him out. That wouldn't happen again. That's because it's during the civil rights movement when people would be dragged out in the streets, kicked, beat, punched, and nothing would happen. That's what he ran off of. That white people were superior to everybody else. You may not like it. You may not want to admit it, but you know it's true. It makes no sense. So people need to stop going and trying to defend him. If you want to be a racist and you want to have racist views, be honest with it. Wear it like a badge of honor. Just say what you mean. If you're a racist, or even if you don't feel that you're a racist, just say, I have racist tendencies. Wear it. Don't hide it. Like, if you're in the Klan and you're a police officer, a politician, or what, yo, take your shit off. Because why hide it? Be proud of it if you're racist. You have a racist president now. A lot of people elected him because they were pissed off that a black dude was president for 8 years. And then they want to sit back and be like, oh, the black guy didn't do anything. Well, blame the Republicans that ran the House and the Senate. Even now, they want to blame Democrats for a government shutdown, but Republicans run the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So if you want to blame anybody for a government shutdown, you blame Republicans. Democrats are no better. You literally had a candidate that could win in Bernie Sanders, but you're coughing up all this nonsense about Hillary Clinton and then, you know, hacking. Okay, fine, they hacked it. But the Democratic Party sabotaged themselves when they sabotaged Bernie Sanders. Hillary Clinton was never going to win. You just didn't put your eggs, you just basically put all your eggs in one basket and hope that she would win. She would never win. So you take Debbie Wasserman Schultz and you take Hillary Clinton and you take, I can't think of that African American female's name that was with the DNC, that was their vice chair with the purple hair. You take all of them and you set them in a corner and you say, don't move, don't come out of hiding, stay here. You take Nancy Pelosi and you sit her in a corner. You take the new DNC chair and you sit them in the corner because they help sabotage, and then they want to go and take Bernie Sanders and wave him around like, yeah, listen to what he says, and it's not going to work. You backed the wrong horse and you lost. So what you do now is you take all those old Democrats and you sit them to the corner and you bring in the new blood. Republicans are going to still run on their racist topics because no matter how much they hate talking about Muslims and everything else, they're running off of Christian values. You take everything and say Muslim, 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 and then you turn it to Christian, Christian. It's the same thing. You literally have a right-wing part of the Senate. The Tea Party is still there. I didn't even know the Tea Party was still there. But they own a nice little chunk of real estate in the Senate. Then you get this Freedom Caucus that has no business being there. They're one step under being a Tea Party member. So let's not get it, just get it all mixed up. These are people that really, if they could do it, they would go in there, and it's still in the Constitution, that people that look like me are still just 3/4 of a man. If they could literally put us back in chains, they would do it. And then try to find a reason to justify it. So think about it when people start defending this idiot for every damn thing. He's like a child. But I bet if he starts a war, none of those people will sit there and send their kids. They won't. They'll happily sit back and watch everybody else go to die. So you think about that when you sit back and you see an idiot with a Make America Great Again hat. Or you hear people defending this idiot that so-called calls himself the president. Sit back and wonder, would you really let, if President Obama was still in office, would you let him get away with even half the crap that this dude gets away with? Or half the crap that he says? It's like listening to a 3-year-old talk. Think about that. That's it. Literally, just think about that. It's ridiculous.